Hey everyone, welcome to our team call. It is October 11th. I'm really good at dates. That's what working at home does for you. Today we have a special guest speaker, Julie Henderson, and we also invited the Super Crew, which is our sister team, to join us on the call tonight. I had met Julie because she is, I would have to say, the first big coach to kind of come out of my area in Western New York. She started our huge Super Saturday, like how many years, like I know my first one was like over 2 years ago. And so it was still on the smaller side. And now it's like way over like 300 people at a time. So most of them are her team, which is awesome. She is a 7-star in her first business center, 1-star diamond coach in her second, a 2-time elite coach. And we seem to like keep randomly running into each other at the weirdest places. Like I get it in Beachbody world that that's going to happen, but then like we've ran into each other like at these most random places. And I know last summer we had a great conversation at this Clarence beer tent.
And I didn't make it this year.
I know. Well, we were there on country night, which I was like, oh my God, my ears are burning. Like, so not into country music. But that's when all of our friends were going. So they dragged me along or drugged me. It's dragged, not drug. But I've kind of been following her for a while, and it's been really amazing to watch her team grow. Like it was already kind of big when I had first gone to my first Super Saturday, and I was really impressed with the numbers because at that time I was like this newer baby coach. It was just me and my husband that were at the Super Saturday, and most of the people that were there were her team, and I didn't even realize it. And then, you know, they grew our Super Saturdays to be so big that they ended up getting asked to do the market council and all that fun stuff. So I've been following her since that first Super Saturday, and it's been inspiring to watch her journey and her team too. Like I get to watch all of these recognition things happen from week to week, and it's been amazing to watch even the women on her team. She has a very strong team of strong women. I think she's branded herself very well. And I believe that is what she's going to talk to you guys a bit about tonight. As well as some other things. So I'm going to let her take it away now.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes. And like Sam said, we met years ago at a Super Saturday. And just because you brought it up, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit. When I started as a coach 4.5 years ago. And when I was a coach, I have my cat here and he's like nudging me. So if you guys see me like cat lady. So that's what I'm doing. Bettis is over here, like, give me attention. So Super Saturdays. When I was first a coach, there were no Super Saturdays in the area. And I used to drive to Rochester. I think I had gone to Toronto for one. And then that's when Melanie Mitro started really making a name for herself. And so Pittsburgh is about 4 hours away from Buffalo. So one day I grabbed a couple of my coaches on my team and we drove down to Pittsburgh for a Super Saturday. So honestly, like no excuses for Super Saturday, get there. And then the time after that, we rented a van and drove down to Pittsburgh. And I remember sitting there, it was that time, I remember sitting in the audience and listening to Melanie Mitro talk. And I just like had this aha moment. And I was like, she didn't become successful and then act it. She acted successful and then the success came. And that was a huge thing for me. And so from then on, I started running Super Saturdays in Buffalo. Our first one was out of a church. We had 42 people. I think the next one we moved was when we first moved into a hotel, and there were, I think, like 75 or 80 people. Within a year, we were over 200, and then corporate found out about us and asked what we were doing and started the market council. Events are now over 350 people. I'm not on the council anymore just because it's so much work. But it was so worth it because it really is great for your team. And a lot of my team's success was based on me doing that because of having that local team. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Technology hates me, by the way. So if you guys can't see this, let me know.
You're good.
Okay, can you guys see this okay?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to talk about attracting your tribe and creating a team vibe. So when I first became a coach 4.5 years ago, I was actually, I kind of have a different story than everybody else. Like I didn't start from a challenge group. I had bought P90X off of eBay. I then bought TurboFire off of Craigslist and met a guy in a gas station parking lot to get it. On the videos, it said, log into Team Beachbody, make a free account, and you're given a coach. So I did, and that coach never reached out to me. And I really didn't expect them to, because I kind of thought that the coach was just like some automated online chat thing, and it wasn't really a real person. So for 2 years, I did P90X by myself in my basement. And it wasn't until I was doing P90X, but I was also doing a workout. It was a lot like Les Mills Pump, if you guys were around during the pump days. And the pump workout was on VHS. And my tape got chewed up by my VCR. And so I literally was like, okay, I guess this is my sign to dust off P90X. So I went online and I started Googling P90X meal plans and came across my coach and reached out to her and found out that coaches are real people. So I became a coach. I signed up with her as a customer, became a coach right away, and got no support at all. She had a coach group that nobody posted in. She didn't offer training. This is when challenge groups were brand new, and we were told to try to run challenge groups with 5 people starting the exact same day with the exact same program and do them for the whole 90 days. So you guys know how hard it is just to get 5 people to do anything together, and how hard it is to run like 21 and 30-day challenge groups. Like try a 90-day challenge group. You're talking to yourself after the first couple weeks. And it was brutal and it was painful. So yeah, I literally had no training. And because of that, I actually think that was a blessing in disguise, because I was like, okay, this is my business. I have to take ownership, and I have 2 options. I can either quit and give up. I can, sit here and wait for training to just drop in my lap, which is not going to happen, or I can make it work. And so, this is even before like the training was in the back office. So I literally went to Google. In the back office, you can see like the top coaches in the company. So I went and looked at the names on there and followed them to see what they were posting on Facebook. And I remember asking myself when I was posting, I was like, would so-and-so post this? Would a coach on this list post this? What are their posts like? And a lot of YouTube videos. And now there's a bazillion YouTube videos from coaches with amazing training. And so that's really how I got started. So when I became a coach, I knew no coaches in the area at all. And so I do have a big local team, and it took time to build it. It was 4.5 years to build it. And it really was just everything that I'm about to show you guys, and just sticking with it and the consistency. So I'm going to talk about how to attract your tribe and how to create your team vibe. That is one thing that my team has been really good at. Can you guys see this okay? I have the little like screen with the people in the corner, so I don't know if you can read everything okay. All right. So number 1, and this is the most important thing, is be you. When I first became a coach, one of the only things that I was told was you had to look and act a certain way. It couldn't be more far from the truth. And you are not going to be for everybody, and that's totally okay. The more you are you, the more you are going to attract the people that you want. The easier coaching is going to be for you, because you're going to mesh with those people. You're really going to be able to work together, and you're going to make friends. It's lifelong friendships that people want, that community, and they're not going to want to quit coaching no matter what, just because of the community itself. So I put hearts next to the top 2. These are probably the 2 most important things. And I do a lot of training with branding on my calls and with my coaches. And these are the 2 most important things that I train. What makes you stand out from other Beachbody coaches, and how can you help people? So what makes you stand out from other coaches? It's basically doing a complete brain dump. And I also want to say this real quick before I forget. Just like anything, like if I had bought P90X and it sat on my shelf, nothing would have ever happened. I never would have had results. Same thing with personal development. You can read every book, but if you don't put it into action, it doesn't do anything. So I really want you guys to be able to like take what I'm giving you tonight and put these steps into action, because that's where the magic really happens. So the first thing that I teach my coaches is to figure out what makes you stand out from other coaches. We're all into fitness. We all love Shakeology. We all love the workouts. We're all following the meal plan. We're all trying to make ourselves better. Some of us want to lose weight. Some of us want to tone up, but it all has that same theme. And when you lead with that theme, you blend into the sea of 450,000 Beachbody coaches because all of your posts look the same. The sales posts are the same. The Shakeology posts are the same. And so what happens is you don't stand out. People don't know you and they're not coming to you because people don't come to you because of the products. I don't care what anybody tells you. People come to you because of you. And that I think is so important to remember, that they can lose weight so many ways. There are so many diets. There are so many meal plans. There are so many workouts. There are so many other coaches. They're coming to you because of you. So really find out what makes you stand out. And so what you do for this is you basically just do a brain dump. And this is always going to change as your life is changing. Like, I am totally not the same person that I was when I first became a coach. I'm not the same person that I was even 6 months or a year ago. Like, you are always evolving. And especially with doing your personal development, you're always growing as a person. So this big brain dump and literally just writing down everything that makes you you, everything, like no matter how small or little it is, like people are going to connect to it. I mean, even things like TV shows. If you are into a TV show and you post about it, people are going to relate to that. If you are, if you have a certain diet, if you're gluten-free, if you have Hashimoto's, I love the water. I can't tell you how many mermaid posts I get tagged in. Mermaid posts, cat posts, wine. I have my wine right here. Like and that's going to help you too, is figuring out like what people tag you in if they know you for. Basically just doing a huge brain dump. And like I said, keep adding to it as the time goes by. And then from that brain dump, figuring out like 4 or 5, maybe 6 topics that you can add value in. So for me, I love travel. I love travel in the beach. And so I do a lot of, when I'm traveling, I show people how to kind of keep a balance, like not necessarily follow your meal plan perfectly, but how to not totally go off the wagon and like totally binge and just like go in vacation mode. What else are some of my things? I do a lot of makeup. I used to be an esthetician. So brows and Brazilians were my specialty. So I get tagged in a lot of brow things. I talk about myself and my brows. Like my brows right now are tattooed on. I just had them done a couple weeks ago, and I share that openly, and people relate to that. And people kind of know what to expect with me. I'm a new stepmom, so I'm slowly starting to incorporate a little bit of that in, and that's totally freaking out my Facebook friends, and they think it's hilarious because I'm like the last person they ever would have expected to be around kids. And, newly dating, I was divorced. I've been divorced for about a year now. So newly dating and like dating after divorce, dating in your late 30s, like even just relationship tips. And that was kind of something, if you look at the very bottom, I wrote, people will tell you what they want from you. You just have to listen. That was something I never even thought would be in my niche and in my market. And people just kept asking me for relationship things and relationship personal development and tips. And so that kind of got added in there too. So yeah, so the first thing is to do the brain dump. Second thing is to figure out from that what your topics are. On top of that, what I do about once a week is I snoop myself. I literally go to my Facebook wall like I was a new person, and I look and say, what would this person know about me if they had never met me before? It's easy to kind of think that people know what we're doing and what we have going on because we're living it. And it's when you actually go to your wall and snoop the last like 5 to 10 posts, that is what people are going to look at. They're not going to scroll down the last week. They're not going to scroll down the last month. They're not going to, dive in and look at all of your posts to figure out who you are. They're just going to scan it. So your cover photo is super, super important to show who you are and what you're into, your profile picture. And then also, I see so many people not take advantage of this, your bio on your Facebook page that you have now, and also the featured photos. The featured photos are amazing to be able to show kind of who you are and what you have going on. And then, like I said, people will listen, or people will tell you exactly what they want from you. What are the questions you get asked the most? Do you have that in a note or like a blog or something like that you can share frequently? But yeah, people are going to tell you what they want. You just have to listen.
Can I interrupt you for one second?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So when I remember actually having this thought process when I first went to your page and was snooping on you. But the thing is that you weren't one of those typical coaches that we normally see. And so I was really intrigued by that because it wasn't the buy the shake from me post ever, like never, ever, ever. And so I always was kind of like, how the fuck does she do this? Have such a great organization, and she's not like throwing shit down people's throats, because that's normally what we see. So like, you kind of know what you're talking about with this stuff, you know?
Yeah, you won't ever see me do like a selfie with my Shakeology bottle.
It's very rare that you do that kind of a thing.
Yeah. In my bio, I don't have, Beachbody coach or anything like that, because how many times have you been friended by somebody and you go to their wall and it says like Roden and Fields, it works, and you're like, yeah, they're going to try to sell me. Like, I just fell for it. I accepted the friend request, I mean, and so you really want to be able to build that relationship and show like what, people can get from you. Actually, you know what? Let me stop this screen share real quick. All right, I'm going to switch this up a little bit for you guys.
I have chaos.
Okay, I have 2 of these files. By the way, you're a Sapphire if you have a bazillion tabs open. So many tabs, you can't even find the 2 tabs that you're looking for. Okay, I have 2 of these files. I have a long one and a short one. I can kind of sometimes go overboard with stuff. So I was going to show you guys a short one, but I'll show you guys a long one. It's not long. It's just, it has more slides and more pictures. Like, the pictures and the graphics are my thing. Like, I love it. Okay, so here, this just gives you some examples. So like I said, your Facebook profile is going to be the first thing that people look at. It's basically your storefront. So top left is one of my Rockstar coaches. She's an elite coach this year. Tatiana, she's 5-star in her first, 1-star in her second. Her husband is like 2-star. She has her mom. Like, it's insane. She's crazy. And so breastfeeding is my cardio. Like, that's her picture. Like, that was her profile picture when she was pregnant, and you're like, this girl is my girl for fit pregnancy. Like, you knew it. You knew what you were getting with her. Kristen Garrow is the cover photo, and I absolutely love this. She has 3 kids under the age of 5, including twin girls. And a lot of her posts are like hilarious. Like, if you want to hear anybody call their kids assholes, it's her. And like, a lot of her photos are like one of her kids having complete meltdowns, sometimes all 3. And it's so relatable. I mean, it's relatable to me, and I don't even have kids. And so that's her cover photo. Those are my featured photos in the bottom right. So you can see like results, you can see the coach, you can see like my girl squad, you can see the beach thing. And then as far as the bios go, the top one is my coach, Angel Mitta, who is awesome. She's a 2-star coach. And you go to her page, and that's her bio, and you know exactly what you're getting from her. You know she's a mom boss. She's super into self-love, wine, music. She does a lot of recordings and a lot of songs. And the bottom 2 are 2 life coaches that I went to a retreat in Mexico with earlier this year. And I just love it because it's them. Stand up for yourself without being a dick. Like, you see that and you're like, she's kind of cool. Like, I like her. And there are going to be people that go to that page and they're like, oh, I don't like that at all. And that's fine, because they're not her market. The same thing with Kira. Kira does life coaching for singles and life coaching for adventurous singles. So basically singles who want to travel the world and they feel like they're stuck because they don't have anybody to do it with. So she sets up, like, she's actually in Greece right now. She just finished a big thing in Greece with these women. And so, like, you see that and you're like, unicorn wrangler and troop leader of love for the League of Adventurous Singles. Like, you're either going to love her or you're going to be like, this chick is crazy. And so that's really what it is about being yourself. So the next one is be the coach you want to attract. You attract what you are, not what you want. If you want great, then be great. This is literally personal development. So many personal development gurus will tell you you can't grow, or you can't be more successful than your growth, I think is what they say, something along the lines of that. And basically it's, you cannot out success your growth. You have to be that person that's able to withstand that success. And so a lot of, one thing that I do is you ask yourself, like, what qualities in a challenger and a coach are you looking for? Literally write that down on paper. Everything that you can think of, do another brain dump. Everything you can think of. what are you looking for? Are you looking for coaches who are hitting Success Club, that are rank advancing, that are, customers that are sticking with their meal plans and getting results? Are you looking for coaches that are following the vital behaviors? And then rate yourself on all of those. And that can be tough to do sometimes because it's hard to look at yourself and, actually like own it and to own your shit. But the more you do that and the better you get at it, the better you can grow. And then really just going back to that list and saying, okay, this is where I'm slacking. How can I improve on that? And how can I improve on that today? Not like someday, oh, it would be really nice if I did that, but like literally, how can I improve on that today? Like if you find that you're lacking in one of those areas, go to Google. I mean, there's probably a free video on YouTube that shows you little tiny tips that you can do today that will help you. Go to Google and find different books, like personal development books. I do Audible a lot. I love using Audible when I drive. I also, if you guys can't tell, I talk fast. That's just my speed. And so I do Audible because I can speed it up to 1.5 speed also. And I don't feel like I'm listening in slow motion. And so, so you can go to Audible. You can even post in your coach group, hey, this is something I'm struggling with. Do you guys have something that can help me? And then walk the walk. Are you doing what you're asking your coaches to do? Are you asking your coaches to do the vitals, invite, stick with their programs if you're not? And they're going to do what you do. So you have to walk the walk. So one thing that you can do is these daily check-ins. And this is my customer one and my coach one. And so like for my coach one, I think I have, okay, I do. So you could post these in your group. The thing is, a lot of coaches will post them in their group, but then not say where they are themselves. They're kind of like, they're not putting themselves on an equal level as their customers and their coaches. And what you really want to do is not be on top of them as like a manager or a boss. You want to be at an equal. So you want to be saying like, hey, this is where I am. This is where I need to improve. So these are two of mine that I've done. The one on the left, I went through everything that I had done. These are both in my coach group. I went through everything that I had done and, said, all right, I still need to do my PD for the day. I did not follow my meal plan. This is where I am. It's real. And if I'm struggling with my fitness this month, I know why. The same thing with the coach group. They're the coach post on the right. I like the right even more because it breaks it down between the vitals and the extras. Because I see a lot of coaches think they're busy when they're doing busy work. I'm totally guilty of that. I will spend all day making pretty pictures, and it's just something that I love doing. And I hate reaching out to people. And instead of inviting, I do a lot of hey girl messages just to reconnect with people. It's not as scary. I've never been like a cold invite person ever. And I really don't, that's not my personality, but I do know I still need to be making those connections. So, so I like this because it does break it down into vitals and the extras. And so you kind of see like, okay, am I actually doing business building activities or am I just kind of doing busy work for the day? So once you have attracted your people and once you're becoming a leader that you want, now it's up to you to create the team atmosphere you want. This is something that my team is amazing with. I rarely have drama on my team, and it's just because I'm not a drama person. I don't tolerate it. I don't care if my coaches call me a bitch. If I delete a post that's just drama, like it's not happening in my coach group. And you really have to remember, like, it is your coach group, it's your customer group, and you get to control the feel and the vibe. So create rules and set expectations. My coaches know that if a post has us, it's probably not going to go over well. My coaches know that if they're posting something to complain, that they have to be looking for a solution. There's no posting just a bitch. And they also know that they have to be providing value as well. You can't be a coach who just, you see in the notifications that like so-and-so posted in the coach group and think to yourself, like, what are they bitching about now? Like, you have to have that balance. You have to do your personal development and, share what's working for you to be able to share what's not working for you and to complain. I actually have code of ethics I can share with you guys. I have a code of ethics for my coach group. I have a code of ethics for my customer group. I printed them out so I could read off a little bit. But basically, I have sections on here, like what is expected of you and what things that won't be it won't be accepted. So for what's accepted, it's be positive, supportive, and inspiring, be open-minded and teachable. Listen to what your coach says. We've been there. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Reach out to your coach if you're struggling. Take initiative with your business, seek out information, and it goes through how to find information. Share valuable information. Let your coach know if you cancel or delay your Shakeology. Have fun and be you. Things that will not be accepted, sharing material from this group to people outside of the group. That includes like people's posts and, personal information. Copying and pasting other coaches' posts or blogs. Comparing yourself to other coaches, just like everyone's fitness journey, everyone's coach journey is different. No blaming your upline for lack of success. If you're about to blame your upline, go read Go Pro by Eric Worre and take responsibility for your own actions. You're not allowed to constantly be negative without adding value. You are not allowed to share Beachbody links on your Facebook wall or other social media sites. No one likes a salesman. I said the only exception for this is during the summer sale and the Black Friday sale, just because those are like the 2 times where you have to order within 5 minutes or everything is sold out.
Because every coach is buying everything.
Yes. Knowingly stealing customers and coaches or prospects from other coaches on this team or not. Contacting customers and coaches about other business opportunities, and then emailing members without their permission. So that's basically my coach code of ethics. And then my customer code of ethics, it's pretty much the same with no sharing. It talks about how we run the free groups and just saying that, Beachbody is reimbursed when customers order from us. But yeah, I can share all this with you. So it's really setting that expectation right at the beginning. And that way too, if anything happens, you can just be like, hey, just FYI, you might want to check out the code of ethics, or have you checked out the code of ethics? Or if you see something that's posted that's kind of on the line, you can just post the code of ethics or bump it. I'm really big on bumping things. I'll just type a period in the comments and then delete it because I know it bumps it. So also be open and vulnerable and share your own struggles. So many times coaches think that because you are their coach or you are a higher rank that you have never struggled and this has been easy for you. And I can tell you, this isn't easy for anybody. There are so many coaches who need to share their struggles because somebody else is going through it as well. And that is how you come off as relatable. And if I were to hop in my coach group and pretend like this is super easy and I never get no's and everything is just perfect, they're going to get even more discouraged when they get no's because they're going to think that it's only happening to them. They're going to think that they could never do what I do. They're going to think that they could never be me. Literally, when I started coaching, I knew how to log into Facebook and I knew how to type. I never thought I would be speaking in front of people. I never thought I would be hosting events or webinars or have a blog and a website. That all came with time. And, I think I had 200 Facebook friends. And so really just sharing that and letting people know that you are them. Everybody starts brand new. Everybody starts at the same spot and everybody struggles. Get face-to-face every chance you get. This has been huge for my team. I'm going to go into that a little bit on another slide. But honestly, just making that connection with your customers and your coaches. Have fun and make friends. Don't make this all about the business. There's nothing worse than a coach having you reach out to them and they became a coach on your team or for customers. They related to you for a reason. And a lot of times they just want a friend and they want somebody to talk to and they want somebody to listen to. And so there's nothing worse than somebody who only gets reached out to when hey, are you going to hit Success Club this month? Hey, are you going to hold your rank? Honestly care about that person and make friends, and that person is going to be so much more successful. And then toss recognition around glitter. Recognition is the new 4th vital behavior, which I absolutely love. If I was going to add a 5th, it would be events, but I love that they added recognition, and I'm going to talk about that on another slide too. So with the clear expectations, these are 2 photos that I post, thankfully not as frequently as I don't have to post them a lot just because coaches know, but every once in a while I have to pop this back up in the coach group. So there's the one on the left, complaining without proposing a solution is called whining. And so my coaches know if you're going to come in here and bitch in my coach group, you have to actually be looking for a solution. And I'll ask people, if they post something, I'll ask them, are you complaining just to complain? Or do you want some help? And then they're like, oh, it kind of makes them think about it, you know, and I'm like, if you want help, I'll help you. If not, I'm deleting your post. So they know that. And then the second one, before you post, does this add value and would other coaches benefit from it? Because you always want to be adding value on your Facebook wall, in your challenge groups, in the coach groups. Am I looking for a solution, or am I just complaining? Is this something a coach would be able to help me with? I have so many coaches who will post things that no coach would ever be able to help them with. Something about like orders, or, you know, just things that you clearly need to go to coach relations for. And have you tried searching? Have you searched the FAQ? Have you searched the group? Because you can search Facebook groups now. Have you searched the group? Have you looked in the files? Have you looked at the training material? Have you exhausted all of those? Or are you just coming here posting? Because a lot of times this question has probably been asked 10 or 15 times. So the face-to-face. Don't wait for corporate events to get together. Super Saturdays are obviously amazing. Summit is amazing. But you want to do more than that. So my team, a lot of times will do brunch after Super Saturdays. Because of the size now, we usually have like 15 brunches all over the place, just with different coaches. And if you don't have a big local team yet, don't worry, because like I said, it's going to take time. I started my team with me, and that was it. And the more that you build it and the more that you promote the team and you guys getting together, the more that it's going to happen. I see a chat, but I can't see my...
She's down for the wine tours. Or wait, wine tours and sup yoga.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, those are some things. Whoops, which way did I go? Oh, hang on. Okay, I couldn't see my... I told you technology hates me. When I have it full screen, my mouse disappears. Yeah, if you guys can read the chat to me, because I can't open it. But yeah, so
wine.
so what my team has done is we've made a local coach group. So it's all the coaches on Team Synergy and that are in Western New York. And so if somebody is even just like heading to Spot Coffee, like, hey, I'm going to Spot Coffee tomorrow. I'll be there from 9 to noon. Does anybody want to meet me? You know, things like that. Like, don't wait for your upline to put things together, and just go ahead and do them. We do dinners, picnics. I'm doing a wine tour with my personally sponsored coaches in November. I just honestly picked a date and was like, I'm free this weekend. Let's do wineries. That's a picture of us doing the paddleboard yoga. And that was the same thing. I just found an event for it, posted it in the coach group, and whoever wanted to show up could show up. Vision board parties, white elephant parties for Christmas are so much fun. We used to do Wine Wednesdays a lot. I don't know if you guys remember Matt Belisai. He was amazing. And so we used to do Wine Wednesdays. Actually, do you guys, who went to Super Saturday in January? If you went to the Super Saturday on the corporate video, they went through the videos with the coaches, because they actually videoed us when they called us to let us know we got elite. They called me during a Wine Wednesday. So I've got like 10 people, and they put me on the video too. So I've got like 10 people in my living room doing Wine Wednesday when corporate was on the phone. And even beach days, like I would just post in the group, like, hey, I'm on my way to the beach, whoever wants to meet me. You know, and so it really is just that getting together and just being face to face with everybody. All right, so recognition glitter tosses. 83% of employees say they would rather get appreciated than a pay raise. That's huge. And think of how many places that you've worked before where you're treated like shit, you're not appreciated, you're not paid what you're worth. And that's kind of the norm. And people are just so used to that. And that's the great thing with Beachbody is they really do, they get recognition. They get it with, you know, the rank advancements, with hitting Success Club, you know, walking across stage at Summit, everything like that. Like they really, really understand recognition. And it's so, so, so important. So what is really great on my coach group and in my coach team page is just shout outs. Every day there's always somebody, and it takes a bit for, like, if Sam starts doing shout outs, it takes a bit for everybody else to kind of like clue in and figure out what's going on. But I mean, there's probably 3 to 4 shout outs a day for like, hey, great post. I have some on the next page I can show you, and that works that works really well for 2 reasons. Number 1, the coach who made the post gets a shout out. And number 2, other people can go to that person's page then to look at what they're posting and get ideas on what to post and kind of see how they're posting. You can shout people out for their first challenge pack, their first customer, their first challenge group. adding value and encouragement in your groups. Like if somebody is just like the biggest cheerleader in your challenge group or is always helping people out in a coach group, every week I do PV, Success Club, rank advancements, and coach signups. And then once a month, I do the leadership ladder and the entire month for Success Club. I literally started doing that when I had, I think, one person on my list. So your team is never too small to start doing that. And it is so, so, so important. Gifts and handwritten cards you can do that for customers. You can do that for coaches. What I do sometimes for Success Club, depends on the month, but like some months I'll do like a small gift for everybody who hits Success Club. Some months I'll do like a bigger gift and do a raffle. So like if you hit Success Club 5, you get 1 entry. If you get Success Club 10, you get 2 entries. So those are just ideas too. You can do performance-based groups, calls, or outings. So I have a coach group for my Emerald coaches and above, and I have a coach group for my Diamond coaches and above. And I'll do different calls in both of those, and they get different material. And so to be in the group, you have to stay that rank. So if somebody, you guys know that people drop out of rank and it happens. But if you're out of rank for a month, then you're taken out of the group, and then once you get back in, you're welcome back in. And so people want to stay in those groups because you get different material. You get the, more advanced placement training in the Emerald groups and in the Diamond groups, things like that. I also do calls for everybody, all my PS coaches who hit Success Club each month. So that's a motivator because they really want to get on that call. And my first year that I got the 2-star Diamond bonus, I rented a catamaran for everyone. And each year the requirements are different depending on how big the team is and what they have going on, like as far as like Success Club and rank. But like one year it was like all Emerald and above coaches. One year it was, what did I do this year? I think this year it was just based on Success Club points. And so they were on the catamaran with us. And then coach group cover photos too. You can do like top coach of the week. You can do like a top coach of the month. Right now my cover photo, I think I have it on the other one, is all of my Diamond coaches on my team who are also on the leadership ladder. And then add yourself to the recognition posts. It's so important because you really want to be leading from the front. Even if you are not at the top, that's actually good. You obviously want to do as well as you can, but it lets people know that, if you're doing it, they can do it too. So you definitely want to get on the list as well. All right, yeah, so here are a couple of things that I've done. The middle picture, I did an Ulta gift card for my coaches who hit Success Club the first 3 months of this year. And that was really just to promote consistency. The top right are the August Success Club earners and rank advancement, and that's my entire downline. Bottom right, those jackets, we do Diamond jackets for every coach on my downline. That's Diamond. I pay for my coaches, and then my team knows that they pay for their own coaches once they rank advance. Coaches are more motivated to get those Diamond jackets than even the rank themselves because and I had no idea going into it. I thought it would just be kind of cool, and they absolutely love them. The Success Club Zoom party, that's the picture I use. And then you can see in the top left, there are a couple of posts where other coaches are just hopping in the coach group and sharing what, good posts and ideas that other people have been doing, and just the shout outs with that. And then number 4 is to duplicate. Promote the team more than yourself. People want to be a part of something. And so that really has been huge for my team, is just sharing the people that are on the team, sharing everybody getting together. It's not a competition, so share your ideas. You're not, and that's one of the great things about coaching, is you're not beating somebody out of a promotion. Like if you hit a rank, it's not because somebody else didn't, it's because you did it. And so you get this great synergy where you can really work together and help each other. And then encourage your leaders to grow. This can be really tough because you're trying to build this big team, and then all of a sudden you have coaches who start growing on their own and growing their own team, and they go off on their own. And so you really want to encourage your coaches to become leaders. And I have coaches who go off on their own, they have their own teams, but they still also are part of the big team, and we still work together to help each other out. A great way to help encourage your leaders to grow is to ask them to step up on team calls, to ask them to post in coach groups what's working for them. You could give them a shout out for a challenge pack sale or a success club or like a really great month, and just ask them like, hey, share something that's been working for you. And so, yeah, just really encouraging your leaders to grow, and that really helps you grow as a team. So I think that's all that I have. And now I can see your chats.
There you go. Just a few drinkers,
Oh, one of the things I started doing with my personally sponsored coaches is, okay, so since I have no upline support, I have my big synergy group with all the coaches in my downline. And then I also have my PS coach group. But my PS coach group was kind of getting neglected because I was getting spread so thin trying to take care of everybody. And so just within the last few months, I've really started to focus my attention back to my PS group. I still help the big group, obviously, but I'm doing a lot more personalized things with my personally sponsored group. And one of the things is doing 2 team calls a month for just my PS group. The first week we do going over our why and figuring out what our goals are and just getting it on paper. And the third week we do wine and why. And it's really just figuring out your why, really digging deep into that. Because 49% of coaches quit within the first year. And the reason is because they don't have that why. They don't have that driving factor that's going to make them keep going when they don't want to. And they're my tribe. They get me. And so we mesh.
Yeah, no, you have a really strong team of very strong leaders too. The women that step up, they're very strong, because I follow quite a few of them because we've met at these random events. So
yeah.
Yes, it's pretty awesome. And the thing that I love is that you guys are all a little different, but something still clicks, because
Yes.
I follow Jen and Scott Dicey, who are some of her coaches, and they're a couple, but they have 4 kids. And before, this stepmom role, Julie it was that. I remember you joking, my nephew hates me. Every picture was him.
Oh my God, those pictures. I remember in Barbados, we literally have a series. My nephew just turned 2, and we literally have a series of me holding him and him screaming like he's dying. And we did a family trip to Barbados in February, and I was holding him and the photographer was taking a picture and he's screaming. He's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'll take a picture in a minute. I'm like, no, this is perfect.
You want this picture.
Yes.
So it's great to see the diversity there, but also there's the connection. So, and I think that a lot of us have really benefited from the call. At least I know I have.
Good.
I hope everyone else
have any questions?
Yeah.
I'm glad I helped.
If somebody has a question, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you, because otherwise it's going to be pure chaos, which I don't mind. But anybody? Nothing? I know how many people are on this call.
No, as soon as you get off this call, there's going to be people who are like, I should ask Rachel. Get it, girl.
It just takes one person to ask a question and then everybody else does.
Exactly.
I know, Rachel.
And then you can't shut people up.
It's not mine asking
Well,
questions.
Casey.
Casey, I think you're unmuted already.
Jack's going to ask a question.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for joining our call. I really appreciate everything you've given us, the insight and everything. And I always ask Casey this. I say, wouldn't it be nice to be a fly on the wall of one of these elite coaches and just see what they do from sun up to sundown? And I know you've already given us a lot of insight about what, your approach is, but do you have a couple minutes to just kind of maybe run through that?
Yeah, but you're not going to like the answer. I am so sapphire. I struggle with following a schedule. I do a lot. Especially, I've been full-time for about 3.5 years now, still have not got it down. And so what I do one week is going to be totally different from another week. My boyfriend, who I live with, also works from home when he's not traveling. So even week to week there is completely crazy and different. And that's one of my biggest struggles with the business is finding not balance, but finding structure and time management. I'm horrible with it. So I wish I could give you a better answer and tell you like exactly what I do, but
There is
that's as good as I've got.
If you're a structure person, because if Casey is not, then you probably are more of a structure person. But
I have to be because
I know a really good Scotty Hobbs video that I can send you, and he breaks it down exactly what he does every single day. So,
but I feel like even on stuff like that we've tried before, like we tried that video for us and it did not work for me. Like, I feel like you hear the same stuff, like, and that's a big question I get from a lot of people is like, what do you do every day? Like, well, I definitely do the the vital behaviors, but that looks different for everybody too. Like, some people invite 3 to 5 people, some people invite 10 to 15. Like, it's all about that mind. I can tell you, like, personal development happens first no matter what. The workout happens no matter what. Shakeology happens no matter what. And then I plan my posts for the day. I look at where we are in the month, and then I always answer my messages first to make sure that is cleared out before I start messaging new friends and inviting and friend requesting new people. So that's all done. But I think that has changed drastically over the last 3 years. And I know it has for Sam too, like, just because like you get more volume, you get more coaches, you have to start making more training videos, and you have to do this and you have to do that. So it's like, I feel like it looks different every day. Like, I always fall behind on stuff, and that's okay. Like, that doesn't bother me because the main things get done no matter what every day. So the other stuff is just like you said, making the pretty pictures and stuff. I'm such a last minute person when it comes to that kind of stuff because I don't want to waste time doing it. So like,
oh my God, I did a webinar last month and I did the PowerPoint presentation 20 minutes before I needed to be on it.
Right, exactly. So
oh my God.
And it really is about finding what works for you. Because like Brooke Lipoff, she's an elite coach, and her and I are really good friends, and she loves Streak. You could not pay me to use Streak. Like, that just makes my brain hurt, and I'm not going to do it. And so it really is about finding what works for you, finding what fits your personality, finding something that you're going to stick with and be consistent with.
Well, it sounds like I'm a lot like you, Julie, because one, I love to make the pictures and I love to make the fun things. And then your last post, I did creep your Facebook page just a little bit, but you're like
encouraged.
It was like yesterday, like I think it was yesterday, one of your posts about how you quit posting about your journey pretty much because you weren't sure if people were getting sick of it. And like, boom, that was me, because I'm also into group fitness, so I post a lot about that. And I'm like, do these people want to see what I'm doing every day? And then I lost track of my own fitness, and then you start to feel in a slump. So like, your post totally screamed out to me. So I want to say thank you for that.
Oh, good.
And I need to take I've taken one of the color tests, but I need to take this sapphire test to see if because I think I am.
Yeah,
it's called GEMS. Is that what the GEMS is?
Yeah,
I can send Sam the link for it if you don't have it already.
I think I might. I took one of them already. I'm like the fun one, whatever that one was. I was not a red. Okay, so I'm the fun one. I like fun.
I think I was Cole.
Yeah, probably.
I know. I actually sent this to Brittany because it's about me yesterday. It was Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, if this isn't me. It says procrastination has taught me how to do 30 minutes of work in 8 hours and 8 hours of work in 30 minutes. Like, if that's not me. I am like the chronic success club 5 or 10er at like 11:45 on the 31st. Like,
for months. Like, yeah. I have heart failure like every month. I'm like, Sam.
It's a struggle. You'll find your way, but you gotta work on it. I know Rachel had a question, so I want to unmute her.
Just to talk about what Casey just said. Like, I love how she said that the post resonated with her, because I think it's so easy to just take like a Shakeology post or a workout post and just like throw it up on Facebook and be like, workout done. Here's my selfie. But it's not relatable. People are like, okay, that's great. Why are you telling me that? And it really is sharing a story with it and sharing like, okay, this is where I am. This is where I'm going. This, if it's my goals, if it's anything that you have going on, if it's a Shakeology post, instead of just like, here's my Shakeology, talking about like, I'm using this And this is why. And this is what it's helped me with. Another thing too is we know what Shakeology is. We know what the 21-day fix is. We know what T25 is. That's common Beachbody coach lingo. It's not common real world lingo. And so if you're posting about T25, people are going to be like, what the hell is T25? I mean, they honestly don't know. And so using more generic terms, like, I'm doing a 30-minute workout. I'm, drinking this superfood smoothie, and talking to people like they're real people and like they aren't already in the coaching business. That really helps too, because that makes your posts relatable.
I have a good challenge for you guys. We can talk about it. Brittany, we can talk about it tomorrow if you want on our call for both of our teams. I'm in this other group because he's like a website person and he helps coaches with their stuff. And one of the things he said was that he challenged every coach in that group to post one whole week without using any Beachbody terminology whatsoever. So that is all of our challenge.
I love that.
Because the whole thing is, and they were huge on this at Summit too, was like branding yourself and not selling Beachbody. There's a huge difference, and like, I'm really starting to like understand that stuff more. And I'm trying not to use Beachbody terms so much myself, which it's hard sometimes, especially if you get stuck in like this way of doing things, and sometimes you just need to reevaluate what you're doing and change. Not necessarily change completely, but tweak. Because I do that every few months. I feel like I tell Brittany, I'm like, I got to start all over again.
And that goes both ways too. I had got so out of talking about Beachbody specific things that I would have people message me and they're like, are you still a Beachbody coach? And I'm like, have you not seen any of my, and there was like this disconnect. And I know Tatiana and I had talked about it a lot. And so, people knew that especially for her, people knew that she was a health coach, and they weren't making the connection that she was a health coach and a Beachbody coach. And for some reason, like you probably get it with trainers. Like people think like I can be a trainer or I can be a coach, and they're totally separate and they don't realize how they can mesh them. Same thing with health coaches, she was finding. And so for me, I've started to slowly mention back in that it is Beachbody, but I'm still not like, Beachbody. And and I'm not assuming that people know what the terms are. So it's a weird balance, but yeah, for the most part, like layman's terms, absolutely.
Okay, Rachel had a question.
Okay. Hi. I was just wondering, and I know you said you don't have like a set schedule, but do you set a certain amount of hours that you work every day? Like I'm at home with 2 toddlers, and I struggle sometimes because sometimes I feel like I'm working all day long, and then sometimes I'm really regimented and I'm setting blocks of a couple hours in the morning before they wake up. And I'm for the most part an organized person, but I would like maybe some tips on how you fit in like all the recognition and posts and things like that.
I don't follow schedules. I go through phases where I'm either I'm on or I'm off, but like I'll have a day where I get a bunch of like stuff that's not work related and like running around errands and stuff done, or I'll have a day where I'm just in the zone and it's like hyper focus and I lose track of time and I'm just like working on whatever I'm working on. So I really don't set schedules. I've tried in the past, and for me it's tough because it's just my personality. I'm either on or I'm not. And so it's really hard for me to be like, okay, I'm going to write a blog between, 11 and 11:30 every single Tuesday. Like if 11:30 comes, I might not feel like it. And I know if I had to, like if I had an outside job and I was forced to follow more of a schedule, that I would definitely be able to make it work. But there's literally times where it's midnight and I'm just like up working because I like it. And, so I honestly couldn't even tell you how many hours I work. I've been asked that a lot too. It's really not many. And also like, I like what I'm doing. I'm having fun. I do need to set more hours with my phone. I think everybody is like that.
I think we all need that.
You go anywhere and everybody's like glued to their phone. Like I know that I do need to set that, but yeah.
Anybody?
What I really liked, and I think Sam can relate to this a little bit, is you know, and at the times when I have shared, and I like this, that some of my team is on here and some of my leaders, the times I have shared struggles, it feels icky to me, only because, and I'm a huge advocate into being, you know, leading by example. So sharing the struggles is important. But Sam and I have an upline that's all she ever shared were struggles and disappointments and this and that. And it really that's not motivating at all, the way she did it. So that kind of like stuck to me, where I was like, that's absolutely not who I want to be. So I'm always going to post, guys, like I obviously get no's, but with every 20 no's, like I got 2 yeses. So I'm going to turn that negativity or into like, look at what came out of it. So for those of you who are on my call and that are on my team, like that's a balance like I'm learning as a leader, but you have to understand where that comes from. Like there's a reason we don't, you know, correlate with our upline and our team. It's because of that. And that's not something that I want. So when I hear the struggles, I'm like, girl, like I know, like I feel you, like I go through it too, but I don't know if they believe it because I don't share it enough. But I don't want to share it that much because of that. That left a really bad taste in my mouth, and
it's
that's
super
something
fun
like
getting like messages when you drop rank, basically screaming at you in all caps for dropping rank or not hitting Success Club or whatever. Like those are super fun messages that I have legitimately gotten from my upline, like
multiple times. And like when you're out on like outings with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, are you back at Diamond yet? Because you've been at Emerald now for 6 weeks and I kind of want to collect that bonus." That's the taste I get in my mouth. So it's like, no, I'm just not going to let my team know when I drop rank, and I'm not going to let them know because I want to show that it doesn't affect me. But that's the vibe I'm trying to put across. So if you're hearing this on my team, like that's the vibe I'm trying to put across. Whether it comes across like that, I apologize if it doesn't, and I'll do better at it by sharing my struggles. But I mean, clearly I've set goals and they see me not hit goals, but I try not to be like, oh, I'm so upset. Like, you know what I mean? There's a time and place for that. And that's not
like when we text each other every day.
Right. Okay. You have a person in your life who that is for, like, but so that just comes from experience of that's not something that I find motivating at all.
Well, and there's a definite way to share it. I mean, I think we all have that like one Facebook friend and all they do is bitch on their Facebook wall. And what do? You block them, you know, hide their posts, you unfriend them, and you're just like, what is she bitching about now? And there's definitely ways for you to share what's going on and share the shit you're going through, but to be able to put a positive spin on it. And so instead of like dwelling on it and like, oh, this sucks, be like, all right, this is some shit. This is what I'm going through right now. This is what I'm doing to come out of it. This is what has helped me. This is where I'm going. And so you're still being relatable, but you're not like, I'm stuck. You're not playing the victim role. And I have a great coach on my team, Tori Sullivan. Actually, she had a post just tonight, which was amazing. I mean, all her posts are amazing. And she has been through more shit than anybody I know. And she is like the most positive and inspiring person that I know. She's from the South. She's from Oklahoma, and she was a teacher. And her entire elementary school was wiped out with a tornado, and a lot of the children were lost. She did missionary work in Uganda, and she was involved in a bombing. Her and the people that she was with were actually targeted. She survived that. She was told she wasn't going to be able to get pregnant. She had a daughter a year and a half ago. She had a son earlier this year who died after 4 days from heart problems. And with all of that, like you go to her posts and she is still positive. She's sharing everything she's going through, and you're not like, oh, what is she bitching about now? She's showing that you can overcome. This is what I'm going through, but this doesn't define me, and I'm moving beyond it. And so there's definitely a way to share what you're going through and still become relatable, but not depressing.
That's the key.
And if your coach is reaching out to you about just your rank and nothing else, like they totally are not focusing on what they should be. Like they're
no.
you see if I have this written down. They're
we know. Well, this is why Right. So for Brittany and I, like, we're success partners. We have the same upline coach, kind of. She's actually under that coach's ex-husband, whatever. But so like we kind of, I don't know. For me personally, I wanted to run my team completely different because it was always like, you felt like you were getting mommed. You know what I mean? And not like a good one, like the mommy dearest kind of a thing. So I wanted to be, and so like I feel like I might have done too much, and people, I don't know, my team, I love them all, but they don't interact as much on our team page as I would like them to. I'm calling y'all out.
And I've, I mentioned this to you too, like I was the same. I had no training. And so I was like, I don't want my coaches to go through what I've done or, what I've gone through. And I like held everybody's hand, and I didn't let people be, it's not that I didn't let people be leaders. It's, I tried too hard. I was like, well, this person just needs, like, there are some people that you just cannot motivate, honestly. And so I think really realizing that number one, you and your growth are going to attract different people. And as you grow through your business, I don't attract the same people now that I did 4.5 years ago at all. And you just have to realize that, and you're going to constantly be cycling through coaches, and you're going to be attracting different people, and people are going to be falling off, and you're going to have coaches tell you like, oh, you've changed, you're not helping me the way you should. And they're probably coaches who wouldn't be successful either way. And they're just not doing personal development and looking for somebody to blame, and they're playing the victim. And so, you really do want to keep building constantly. Christine Dwyer, that was a quote I was just looking for, but I don't have it handy. But Christine Dwyer said something about, if your coaches aren't rank advancing and doing what you want, build a new team. And it really is. I mean, no matter what, you constantly have to be filling in gaps and adding to your network and adding to your coaches. Because the coaches you have now that got you to whatever rank you have now, they're not going to be the coaches that get you to your next rank. They're not going to be the coaches that keep you at this rank, because you'll still have diamond coaches that quit. You'll still have star diamond coaches that drop rank. And it's going to happen. You just constantly have to keep building and keep helping as many people as are accepting of your help and are willing to put in the work themselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'm just laughing because Brittany just had a recent episode. And so you literally said about growing and how you're not going to attract the same people. And I had to text her because I was laughing about it. I was like, bingo.
Oh, yeah. And then you're going to have where, like, I remember when Tatiana became a coach and she just like ran with it. And I mean, like, you just knew right away that she got it. I think she went diamond in her first like 3 months. And that shook up my coach group a lot, because there were a lot of coaches who were very comfortable growing at the pace they were growing. It's kind of like, you guys all know when challengers start losing weight, and then all of a sudden the people that they think would be the most supportive, their friends and family, are like, who do you think you are? Like, what are you doing? And it's because it's making them look at themselves and they're like, oh shit, like my excuses don't work anymore. And it's the same thing with coaching. And so when Tatiana became a coach, that really shook up my coach group for a little bit, in a good way, because the people who were total victim mentality, who would have complained about everything anyways, they were like, who does she think she is? I mean, I was told that I was giving her more attention, which I should have been, but I wasn't. But, and it kind of like weeded them out. But then the people who needed that push and that like, oh, she's doing it, I can too, that needed that little extra motivation, like they really started to pick up and they really started to run with it. So it's all part of, it's all a growing process. Like, I swear, I think being a Beachbody coach, like once you hit like 2 years, you should have like a psych degree, just because of like working with the different personalities. I mean, it's crazy.
It really is. And not just like from the coaching side, the challenger side. Cause it's like, I feel like people will tell you the most random things. I'm like, you should not be telling me this.
And it just feels like,
and I don't want to know. Yeah.
And, I mean, you can give people like every tool. You can have 10 people, give them every tool and resource available to you. And it's up to them to do it and to use what you're giving. And, so many coaches get stuck because they take it personal when their coaches and their customers aren't, utilizing what you have to offer. It's like, I was actually talking to a friend about it. The other day she was talking about a guy that she wants to date and they've like dated on and off. And she's like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I kind of feel like it's with the challengers where you're like, you could be doing this, but you're not quite there. You know what I mean? And she was like, oh my God, that's so true. You know, it's like you're wishing it for them. They have to want it themselves.
Right. Yeah, so true. Well, thank you so much for your time. I don't want to keep you too much longer.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been such a great call, but we do have to take a picture before.
Oh, yeah.
So that we can brag on social
Everyone's
media. Not me,
your
I'm not a mess, whatever. I'm like, today I posted a picture, no makeup, my hair was a mess, whatever. All right, let's see if I can get some people.
And those are the ones who get the most interaction because they're real.
So I will have yet to figure out what kind of posts will attract people. I literally posted caved, heat is on, and I had 19 comments on that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yes.
I'm like, but I could spill my heart out, and it's like, you know, like 30 likes. And that's a lot.
People are watching you.
Right. But that's a lot because I used to have like none.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's so easy to get caught up in too, like looking at other coaches and how many likes and friends, and you know, everybody starts with no interaction, no Facebook friends. Like we all start in the same spot.
well, and it's funny, I posted about that to, I think it was my team, and because I have time hop, and so my wedding anniversary was recently, and I put my wedding dress on, and I actually was, I think 20 or 30 pounds lighter when I actually wore that for the first time, but I look better in it now. And so
I love that.
I posted about it, and I had, I think, oh my God, how many, it was almost 300 likes or something last year. And I get that it's like a little bit of a different post. It was about my anniversary though. And then last year, my anniversary post was like 10 likes. Like it's just I'm finding that with a lot of my posts now. So like this is my 3-year anniversary was just this past month. And so like when people tell you like you got to be in this for the long haul, it's not a joke. Like,
and you have to be so consistent.
Right. For 2.5 years, I was getting consistently, like I could literally pull up on Time Hop right now, any of my posts last year, any of my posts 2 years ago, up through the time that I got on Facebook. And you can see consistently there's like 2 likes, 3 likes, you know, maybe I had 15 was a high number last year. And now my high numbers are in the hundreds for likes and stuff. And like, you can't gauge on how well you're doing based on that stuff because people are like the dumbest shit. I mean, if you look at Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton posts, I mean, come on.
But I mean, like Jen Dicey, she followed me. I mean, I've known her for years and years and years. I asked her to be a coach for 2 full years before she finally said yes. Tatiana took me like 5 months, and I knew she would be an amazing coach. And she just, for some reason, like didn't get it herself. And she was so in like I'm a health coach. I don't need your shake. I'm a green smoothie girl. Yeah. She was a total pain in the ass. And I remember like the night that she finally became a coach, I was like, okay, she's either going to block me tonight. And I'm not a pushy person at all. You know, and I'm like, she's either going to block me tonight or she's going to become a coach. And she became a coach.
Well, that's good because she's really done amazing with her.
I know.
It's been really fun to watch like your team grow and expand. And I know I took their Super Saturday picture and like you could barely even get them all in the picture. It was amazing. All right, so we'll take this picture and we'll stop bragging on you.
I'll get Bettis in the picture too. He's still hanging out with me.
Perfect. I don't know where my cat went. She's probably laying with my husband.
Stepkid's here all weekend, so he's happy to have a quiet house again.
Like I need a minute. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Some people are black, but we know who you are. Adam, you're always black in the pictures. Which is weird considering he makes fun of how white he is. So that's hilarious. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you so much, Julie, for your time. We really appreciate it. And I'll get those things from her. The gym and the Code of Ethics links. Because I really like those. Those were amazing. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks again.